Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Woo! It is so good to be back with you. Well, I tell you, I know I'm getting this video out a little late, but Psychic Bob's had a busy day. I've been out with Mom, running errands, going shopping, playing with Grizzly, all of that, and just rejuvenating myself. But I am so glad that you guys are here. And it's Saturday night. And for those of you who are new here, by the way, welcome to our new people. If you've been watching and haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure to hit it and hit the bell to get updates. Be part of Spirit Channel. But we have kind of a weekly tradition. We have a video here every day. For those of you who've been here, you know this. But on Saturday, we call this our Saturday Seance. And usually we gather, we have a little lesson, a class from a spiritualist manual or a book on spiritualism. And then we hold a trance channeling session. And that's our normal routine. But as you know, I'm down at Mom's, so we're changing up our routine a little bit. And tonight what I thought we would do is have a scrying seance. There goes my light again. There's a spirit all around there. It's moving, literally, the light's physically moving. We're having a weird stuff going here. Well, it's a good sign, right? And shouldn't a medium's house be haunted? Anyways, so for the newbies, this is our Saturday tradition. Now today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a Black Mirror scrying seance. So, anyways, give me just a minute here. Well, let's get set up. I'll explain all this to you. You know, before we get into everything, I thought I would remind you, tonight is the last night that you will be able to get my newest artwork, which is a free gift from me to you. This is Biomorph 1951, and it is available at my website. So go to PsychicBob.com and you can print this out. There's an image of it over there and explains how to download it. So if you like this artwork and you've been wanting to get a copy, get it. Tonight is the last night it will be available for the public. Tomorrow I'll be announcing and launching my newest artwork, which I think you'll be very excited about. So if you like Biomorph 1951, get it tonight before it's gone, okay? PsychicBob.com. All right. Now, as I was saying, tonight we're going to talk about scrying. Scrying is an old witch tradition. It's done by some spiritualists. Back in the 1920s, crystal balls were big among spiritualists. They would look into the ball and communicate with spirits. But that really came from the older tradition of witchcraft. And the witches of old would scry traditionally in water. In time, they started scrying in lakes, and then they would scry in the cauldron. And eventually that formed into mirrors and crystal balls. Scrying is basically getting a vision or a connection to another realm through a shining or reflective object. Tonight, the object we are going to use is a black scrying mirror. And I love the black scrying mirror. You can notice it's very much like looking into a pool of water. Imagine if you were walking into like a garden where they had a reflecting pool. You ever seen that? Well, this is where these ideas came from. Because people would have reflective pools. Now you can see my face in there. It's very much like watery surface. And the scrying mirror is a wonderful tool. And you can make your own scrying mirrors. I'll probably do a whole video on how to make a scrying mirror soon. But if you don't have time to make one, you can also buy these. Lady Angela sells beautiful scrying mirrors at her website at rarewiccaspells.com. Many of you have been to our Sunday show, know Lady Angela McAllister. She's the high priestess of the Order of the Purple Cord, and she has a witch store called rarewiccaspells.com. I'll have the link below. But if you don't, want to make a mirror, you can buy them over there, and she has some beautiful mirrors. This is a little one that I made, and we're going to use this tonight. So basically what you want to do is have a little table set up. Like here we have a little table, and I recommend that you keep water on your table. One, because it hydrates you, but also water is a great thing to conduct electricity, and it'll draw the spirit world closer to you. You know, when I was a young psychic and I would do seances, my teacher said, always put a bowl of water on your seance table. So I'm going to have a big bottle of water tonight on the seance table. I suppose I could have another bowl here too with some water. Maybe we'll do that. But To do this type of seance, all it requires is just a black mirror. And as I said, I'd recommend some water. Now, you can get it all fancied up with candles and incense. And maybe we'll add a little bit of that too. But basically, your basic ingredients are a scrying mirror and some water. Okay? And of course, yourself. All right, so as I was saying earlier, you can add some drama to your seance. And so I thought we'd have some beautiful candles here. Now, if you use candles with a black scrying mirror, I advise you to kind of keep them out of the direct gaze because you want a dark field. See, if you have your light there reflecting, it kind of breaks the field of vision. So put it a little to the side or to the back, and that way you get a nice, inky, deep field for vision, okay? So the next thing we want to do is let's do a little invocation. An invocation is a summoning of the spirit world. So we might just lay our hands on our table. Let's close our eyes just for a moment and center ourselves. And when you're ready, you can begin the invocation. And it could be something like this. Great Spirit, we thank you for this night of gathering. We ask now that you open the door between the worlds. We bring to you this black scrying mirror. May it serve as the doorway, the portal to the spirit world. We invite all of the blessed loved ones, teachers, guides, angels, and good spirits who wish to guide us this night. Let us commune with your world. We thank you for this night of gathering. May it all be in divine order. So mote it be. So mote it be. And then what you want to do after you do your invocation is you want to just relax. Maybe take a sip of water. You don't have to be stiff and formal. And then gaze into your speculum or your scrying mirror. Speculum is an old Victorian word. It's a scrying device. So we're going to just look into the doorway. Now, when you're looking, be open that you may receive impressions. Your images might be still images, or they might be movies. You might even hear sounds. Sometimes I hear sounds coming out of the glass as if I'm opening a door into another world, which in a sense we actually are. So let us delve into the doorway. Just let yourself relax. And know that you're safe. We've called in the highest and best spirits. You know, as I'm looking into the mirror, I keep seeing what appear to be little sparks of light. It's almost like stars or not stars, more like sparks, like almost like fairy dust. That's the word, fairy dust. And as I said that word, I'm seeing a luminous form. This is wild because I'm getting smoke crossing the mirror. This is something that might happen to you. And I'm seeing smoke. The sparks have faded and now there are clouds of smoke, almost like cigarette smoke. You can see through it, but it's definitely clouds of smoke. I hear a voice speaking to me. This voice sounds familiar. Hold on, let me see. I can see a man. Oh, I know who this is. Merlin. Are you Merlin? Merlin the magician's here. It's a man in long robes. He's wearing dark green robes tonight. He has a long beard and long hair. He doesn't have a hat on, but it looks like he has a hood on the back of his robe, but he's not got the hood up. And he's holding in his hand a long wooden staff. And at the top of the staff, it appears to be like a pentacle, like carved of wood hooked to the top of the staff. So it's wooden staff with a pentacle of wood on the top of the staff. Merlin, I can see you. It is you? He said, yes, it's Merlin. It is I. Thank you for coming to greet me. He says, I can see him. He's turning around and he's motioning behind him. He's like, he keeps showing me as he's moving, I see a path behind him. And he says, walk the path. So I'm going to go deeper into the vision. And sometimes this will happen when you're doing this type of seance, is that somebody will greet you and invite you into the mirror. Allow yourself, if you feel comfortable, to go with them. I know the spirit, and so I'm going to go ahead and go. Now, don't be afraid, because you won't get trapped in the mirror. That's a myth. You can come back at any time, but I'm going to go into the mirror. Just let your gaze go through. And now I'm inside and I'm looking around a wooded path. I'm in the middle of the forest with tall trees. It seems to be about dusk. It's kind of dark. The sky through the trees has a little purplish, pinkish hue, so I think it's right at dusk time. Merlin heard me say that. He said, it's the time of the fae. The fairies are coming out now. He says, look into the trees, and as I'm looking into the trees, I can see it. There are fae, little fairies. They're kind of like Tinkerbell, but they're darting between the trees. Little tiny fairies about 2 inches high. They're glowing bright, like they're luminescent. Brilliant white and blue and pink and green lights. They all have their own unique color. And I'm walking up the path with Merlin. Oh, this is interesting. As we get through, we're coming to like a clearing in the woods. And there's a giant cauldron there. A massive, massive cauldron. It's probably about 8 feet across in diameter, and it's about 4 feet high. It looks like it's solid iron, cast iron cauldron. 8 feet in diameter, around, and 4 feet high. Very, very large. And what's interesting is across the top, there's like, it almost looks like dry ice. It's like mists. And Merlin's asking me, he's beckoning me. He's like, come closer. And as I'm looking into the cauldron, I'm standing at the edge, I can see into this cauldron. The mists are parting, literally. And he said, like the mists of Avalon, the mists in our cauldron open. Now what's fascinating is I'm looking into some black, it's like a deep black water. It's almost like I'm looking into another scrying mirror, but it's a bowl of water. And water is a traditional scrying element. And Merlin says, what you see within this cauldron, you can have. And what's interesting is that inside the water, I'm seeing appear in the imagery of the water a giant crystal. It's a Lemurian crystal. Am I correct? Merlin's nodding. He said, reach into the water. And so I'm reaching into the water. And I'm actually touching the image. It looks like just an image is becoming solid. And I can literally feel the crystal in my hand. And it's a crystal. It's about 12 inches long and about 4 inches wide. It's a massive Lemurian crystal. It almost takes me 2 hands. And I can feel it now in my hands as I'm looking in this cauldron. And he said, this is a gift to you from our world. And so he's given me this beautiful crystal. It's amazing. And Merlin's asking me to tell you, he says, share with your friends the truth that our realm exists. He said, many on the earth think that they are wise. They believe they understand life and the universe. But it is the great and ancient gods, the mother and father, who sustain all of this. Our world, this is Merlin speaking, he says, our world is as tangible as is yours, but you do not perceive it. He said, I should say only those who are perceptive perceive it. And he says, many of your friends are opening their minds to these worlds. Continue to share with them, and we will invite them in to our world. Merlin's handing me something. He's reaching in his pocket. He has a deep robe, deep green robe. He's pulling out something. What is that? He's giving me a stone, and it has a curious, like a runic inscription. I don't know what this is. And he says this symbol is a connection symbol to our realm. He said, remember this symbol, and you can trace it and use it to connect with us. He said you can trace it on your mirror, or you can trace it on paper and carry it. And he says, when you look at this symbol and you invoke its power, you will connect to our realm, to the realm of the Fae. I will remember this. Thank you. I treasure that. Thank you. He's now giving me, he's reached into his pocket, he's giving me another gift. This is a beautiful pendant. And he's putting this pendant around my neck. And it's interesting, it's a silver pentacle. But in the middle of it, it has a beautiful emerald stone. It's like a pentacle, but in the middle of the pentacle is an emerald. Thank you, Merlin. Is that for me? He said, yes. He said, you can wear this when you come to our realms, and it will guide you and protect you. He said, I also shall serve as a guide for you along the way. Thank you, Merlin. He said, now you've seen enough for one visit. You can stay longer in the future. But now it is time for you to return to your world and to your time and place. And so he's raising his step. He's pointing me towards the path we walked up. He said, let us go that way. And we're walking down the path. And it's funny, I can see a black doorway. But as I'm looking at it, I'm seeing, remember how the sparks of light? I'm seeing sparks of light as if I'm looking in to another scrying mirror. He said, cross through that and you will be back in your, oh, wow. I'm just getting flashes of light coming through the mirror. It hurts my eye. He said, go through it now, quickly. Whew. And I'm back. Whoa. Oh my God, that was amazing. Whew. I got to take a moment and collect myself. I'll tell you about that in just a second. Hold on just a second, guys. We'll be right back. Don't leave. Wow. Now that wasn't a long journey, but it was pretty intense. It was very graphic. And I just want to tell you, because nobody ever told me this when I started scrying. I just thought you would see like photographic images, and that is how a lot of people see it. But in my case, what happened is I went into a whole three-dimensional experience in the scrying image, a scrying portal. And this seems to happen when I do scrying. And you may or may not have that. So don't feel bad if you don't get that. But some of you, I know it will happen to. And I'm just telling you, be prepared because it's very intense. When I was leaving the scrying mirror from the other side, it's like imagine it's the doorway, I was coming back through this way. That mirror I was looking to on the other side was flashing like strobe bright blue lights in my eyes. And it actually temporarily blinded me. Like I was like, what is this? I've never had that experience, but it was pretty cool. So anyways, and now I'm back. So I had to take a minute and collect myself. After you do your seance, you might want to close it down. I didn't show you this part, but close down your session by extinguishing the candles and then just do a prayer of thanksgiving. And intend that the portal be closed. I already did that, but I forgot to film it because I was a little discombobulated from that experience. It wasn't scary, it was just intense. And that's how scrying can be. Sometimes it can be very intense. Don't let that scare you. Just go with it. Now, remember what I always said. If you get scared and you think, oh my God, I can't handle this, you can come back at any time. You can instantly pull yourself back out of the mirror. You'll never get trapped, so don't be afraid of that. You know, a lot of movies show people going into scrying mirrors and getting trapped. That doesn't really happen. At least it's not been my experience, and nobody I know has had that. So remember, you are in control, but you have to let go enough of control to allow others to come forward. And that's where you get the right balance. Like, I'm controlling, I'm choosing to go in, but at a certain point, I realize that there are other realities coming in, and I have to step back and allow them to come forward. And when you get that balance right, you can have a really amazing scrying session. So anyways, guys, I just want to spend some time with you tonight. Let you know Psychic Bob's with you. I love you guys. And I miss you. And I hope that this has been some fascinating and interesting experience for you. A fascinating and interesting experience tonight. No, I can't talk today. Psychic Bob's getting tongue-tied. I think I need to go eat some food and ground down. Speaking of food, that's actually something you should do after a scrying, is have a little food. Now, you don't have to eat a big meal unless you haven't eaten, but eat a little snack. I think I'll go have a little slice of cake. My mom made a cake today. So I think I'll go eat some cake and just ground down a little bit, have a cup of tea. But anyways, I want to ask you guys, how many of you, is there anybody out there who has worked with the scrying mirror? I'd love to hear about your experiences. Now, you could have, maybe you scryed with a crystal ball instead of a black mirror. Maybe you used a silver mirror or a bowl of water, or like you can scry in practically any reflective surface. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to write to me and say, Psychic Bob, that surface of that mirror looks like my cell phone. Can I use my cell phone for scrying? Well, technically, yes, you can, but I don't feel that you should. The reason why is I feel that your scrying device should be something that is set apart and sacred. It's a sacred tool and should only be used for scrying. So like this mirror is only for scrying. I only use it for that purpose, no other purpose. Whereas your cell phone, you use a lot of communications, there's a lot of internal energy. And plus, in the middle of a scrying session, a call could come in and break your session. So I don't recommend a cell phone. I think you need a special and separate scrying device that you bless and consecrate to the work of the spirit. So that's my answer to that, because I always get people asking me if they can use that. And I say, you can, but you shouldn't. My personal opinion. All right, you know, as I always said, take what you want and leave the rest behind. You don't have to do it because Psychic Bob says it, but that's my opinion if you want to know. Anyways, guys, listen, it's Saturday night. It's getting late. I'm going to go have a snack, and I'm going to Netflix and chill. I'm having such a good time down here with Mom and Grizzly, and I'm so glad you guys have been patient with me, and thank you for being here during our adventure. Mom sends her greetings and love to all of you. She's in watching a TV show right now, so I don't want to bug her. I'm going to Netflix a little later here. But thank you for being here. You guys are best. Listen, help me out, please. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, hit subscribe, be part of our channel. We'd love you to be here, okay? Keep it here. Tomorrow night, Sunday, is the witching hour. We're going to have a live broadcast. Be here 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, 1 a.m. London time, 2 a.m. Paris time, and Eastern Europe time. So come out and be here for the witching hour. We're going to talk about all things mystical and witchy. And I want to give a big shout out and say thank you again to all of you who came into yesterday's video. We had Mary Beth Decker, an interview with a famous pet psychic. One of my dear friends. I love her. If you didn't see that, check it out. It's in the queue right before this one. Guys, I love you. Listen, also, I forget every time. If you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, I still have a few openings for this next week. Give me a call. Call me in my office, 703-825-3929. That number will be below, or write to me in my email, PsychicBobHickman@gmail.com. You guys are best. Love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Check the links below. Make sure, don't forget, oops, where'd I put it? Hold on. Don't forget, tonight is the last night to get this artwork. So go to PsychicBob.com, get your free download of my artwork, Biomorph 1951. It's last night, and it won't come back. It's a limited edition, so don't miss it. All right, guys, I love you. Tell me in the box below about your scrying experiences, and I look forward to hearing from you. Let's talk. Blessed be.